Ain't the fame that I'm after when paying the dues. I've been through the pain that's reflected in the attitude. Might be winning now, but the thing is that I had to lose. So go and tell me what you really wanna do. And lonely at the top, cause there ain't a lot of room. Ain't no other option, it's all I ever knew. So I'ma get it poppin', you know how I'ma do. I've been down through the blood and the sweat. Guarantee you can know I'm a threat. I've been down through the blood and the sweat. And I ain't close to being done yet, I'm going all in. Yeah, I'm going all in. And I ain't close to being done yet, I'm going all in. Yeah. They know I'm going all in.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? It is the Niners Boys podcast back again on a Tuesday evening 6:30 show. We apologize for starting a little bit late. It is myself, yours truly, Niners Sickness, accompanied with my boy Peter Lucas and Brandon in the house. What's up, guys?
I am great, Beto. Even though the Niners stink right now, we're still winning at life, all of us.
Yes, we are.
Yes,
and
sir.
We have a special guest with us. I'll be entering him in a few minutes. Let me take care of his green screen. So I have this in.
What's up,
so
Jimmy?
nobody can see what I'm seeing. Perfect. All right.
No.
So Pete and Brandon, take it away, guys. Say hi to everybody. Let me work on his screen, and I'll jump in with you guys in a minute.
Pete,
What's going on?
go with you
What's going
first,
on,
man.
everybody? So, 49ers lose 2017. And I did an instant reaction show like right after the game. And and honestly, like listening to Kyle talk right after the game, it was the one time I had ever heard him actually kind of take accountability, because he never takes accountability for anything. So, but it was the first time that I had actually heard him kind of blame the offense for them losing the game. I don't think I've ever heard him just blame one facet of the game, and and especially not one that he's directly in control of. So it's, once again, he talks about execution and like all those things, the normal coach speak that he always says, and then he gets mad at Grant Cohn as usual for asking questions that we actually all want to hear the answer to, and but the reality is he doesn't have answers. Listening to him speak, he doesn't have any answers. He's still talking about execution, and they just have to execute better. And it's the nonsense. Like if anybody is expecting for this team to look different next week, what do they say about insanity? What is insanity? It's expecting a different, like doing the same things over and over again,
expecting a different result.
Like that's Kyle. And that's being a fan of the 49ers. We expect every week for there to be some kind of adjustment, and he's not going to adjust. He's still waiting for this team to execute the plays that he puts out there, and that's supposed to fix everything, instead of noticing that maybe this team just can't execute the plays that you're calling. Like, it's a novel concept, I know, but it's almost like he's throwing the entire team under the bus and not running plays to accentuate the players on this team that we have. You've got to adjust to your personnel, in my opinion, as a coach. And he just doesn't seem to want to do it. But regardless, it was a very disappointing loss. And I sat there and watched the game the whole time. I couldn't even get excited throughout the whole entire game, but just because I was just waiting for the other shoe to drop. And it was throughout the game, they just hung around. You could see it coming. Every game has the same vibe to it, the same flow. So, but how'd you feel about it, Brandon?
I was on the same boat as you, Pete. You know, it was the same thing. Like we get the lead, and then we blow it in the towards the end of the fourth quarter. We can't keep the lead, and this is the third time it's happened, especially to a division rival. So um, this is just the season that's it's not it. We're not making playoffs, and if we do, I guarantee you we're out by the first round. Um, Injuries have killed us. Penalties have killed us, especially on the offense. And you saw that in Sunday's game. And uh, defense does not look good at all. Um, well, I mean, they look decent, don't get me wrong. But as soon as Nick Bosa was out there, God, what a completely different defense we saw out there. So um, we need help all around. Special teams still ass. I mean, what more can you say, man? Like, the last year was the year that we could say that we should have basically won it all. And that was, I think, honestly, that was our last chance. I'm tell point blank period. Like, I mean, this season is just it's not going anywhere. So that's where I'm at right now.
It's kind of
My guy
related to
Twin in the house. Got to say
What's up,
going on,
Twin?
Twin. Like I haven't talked to my man in a minute.
What's up, Twin?
What's up, fellas? Can y'all hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
What's going on, man? How y'all lovely fellas doing today?
We're doing good, man. I just wish
Good, bro.
somebody would look
Good.
at their phone. But other than that, we're doing good. I'm trying to ask a question because Twin, I couldn't remember your name for the life of me right now. And I put on the group, what's our guest's name again? I'm going to introduce him. And nobody responds. I'm like, these dudes, these guys I'm working with. I'm telling
He
you.
just barely did it right now.
Well, I know Pete can't see because he's using his phone as his camera. And Brandon's too busy eating burritos to help me out here.
Hey, chill. It was actually Pasole, okay? It was Pasole.
It's supposed to, while you were eating something, bro, that no hate here, bro. You were eating, bro. I like to eat, so but you're like, nobody's looking down on their phone. I'm like, these dudes. And then when Pete goes Twin, I'm like, all right. Whether Pete
There
knew
he
it or not,
is.
he bailed me out. What's up, Twin? I am bad with names, bro. I am good with faces, bad with names, but good to have you on the show, bro. Let's open it up with you as a guest. What were your thoughts on the game, bro? How are you feeling about this season? Are you down in the pits thinking the season's over, or do you still have a little bit of hope saying, you know what, we can still turn this around?
I'll start with today. Well, on Sunday's game, just how I felt about that. My philosophy over the last 2 years, to be honest with you guys, I think I told Pete this, is that we were going through a transitional phase to where our defense in 2019 was the head of the snake. And to consistently ask for your defense for a 6 to 7 year period to be like a top 3 defense, to me, is asinine. Like, let's be real, especially when the coach, who is also the OC, is known for his coaching tree, which is known for what? The offensive abilities that he does have in his creativity. Does he have a couple DCs that are coordinator? Yes. But he do have more guys to leave his team far as his coaching tree and become offensive coordinators and head coaches. You see what I'm saying? And they are known for the system that Kyle Shanahan has created. They're not known for D'Amico Ryan's defense. They're not known for Robert Saleh. They're known for what Kyle Shanahan and his father has produced. And so with that being said, when we had the multiple All-Pros last year with scoring 30 points a game, there's no longer the Jimmy Garoppolo factor who had kind of stifled this team. We're now saying that, hey, Kyle Shanahan, the offense is turning over to have the quarterback that you desire, the skilled personnel that you desire, the Swiss Army knife, and the one and only CMC that you desire. So we're thinking that we're going to go through this transition where the defense is going to be okay, but we're not expecting this defense to be the steel curtain. But we are expecting this offense to have a certain type of explosiveness, creativity, a red zone efficiency that we're not seeing. And so when a game like Sunday comes and this defense holds in the first half this team to 6 points and then didn't score until the second half, like the last 2 minutes of the fourth quarter, they end up scoring 20 points. I'm not going to sit over here and say there's three defensive coordinators in 3 years, guys. 3 in 3 years. But we turn the onus on the defense and say, what happened to you when the offense has the same OC, majority of the same skill players, and we want to sit here and say, well, 17 points is enough. I can't get with that. And so I'm more so disappointed at the offensive production over this year because I expect the defense to take a step back. But that doesn't mean that this offense doesn't have the skilled players, even though Brandon Ayuk is hurt. And even when George Kittle is hurt as well, we still have more all pros than probably 75 to 80% of the National Football League. And we have a genius as an offensive coordinator as well. So I'm just sitting here looking at our head coaches like, what are we doing? Because we consistently make mental mistakes. We're still undisciplined, like we were in Super Bowls where we were undisciplined by our star players, whether it's Nick Bosa coming outside, whether it's Trent Williams having the holding calls and him coming outside. It's like, coach, what are we doing? And so my thing is, Kyle Shanahan, we need to rise up or rise up out. So that's my 2 cents. Sorry to be all long-winded, but try to condense in a short period of time just what I've been seeing throughout this year. We're just not doing enough when it comes to scoring touchdowns with this 49ers football team.
Yeah, I hear you, man. Especially like you said, defenses are hard to maintain. We lost a couple coordinators to NFL teams, whether they're successful out there or not. We had to go through transitions of defensive coordinators, but the defense can only be so good for so long, especially if you don't hit on some draft picks in the front. I mean, our secondary is looking good. We hit some good prospects in our safeties that we can look forward to. But this is, to Twins' point, this is the opportunity of Shanahan to do what he does best, call plays and execute and put points. And now that the defense is not able to bail out the offense as they used to do in the past, I would think that the offense would have to step up and put points and keep this afloat. But the defense is not able to stop teams as well as they used to. And this offense can't put points. I mean, they're like not the bottom of the 32 teams in the red zone. And it's like, what happened between last year and this year? Yes, we didn't have Christian McCaffrey, but even with McCaffrey in 2 games, we're still in the same boat, not able to move the ball. And we have to settle for field goals, and field goals that are not even being made by our kicker. So it's like when people earlier told me, I spoke last week about the Niners facing the game that we played, if we had a chance to win or not against our divisional foe, the Seattle Seahawks. I go, this game's going to be tough. And like, oh no, we kicked their butts over there in Seattle. And we're going to do, I go, every game is different. Every situation is different. I go, that coach over there, he's a defensive mind. He played Shanahan the first time he kind of figured him out. And if you notice, that defense of theirs stopped our offense more. I mean, if you look at Brock Purdy's numbers, they were pretty ugly against that same Seattle defense. So I don't know, guys. Going into the Packers, and I won't go too ahead, but going into the Packers, people are calling me a hater because I don't think we're going to win that game. And they're like, yeah, man, a little faith. You have no faith in your team. I'm like, I'm watching film. If they can't beat Seattle at home, what makes you think they can beat Green Bay in Lambeau? But with that said, Pete, I'm going to shoot it to you, bro. Regardless of what the Niners did against Seattle and how bad they played and give that game away, do you think they can go into Green Bay and handle their business and come out with a dub against that team that, let's be honest, barely beat Chicago because Chicago missed on the field goal?
And don't sleep on Chicago's defense. That's the one constant for them all season. But anything is possible. Anything is possible with this San Francisco team. Just because, look, just because they haven't been scoring doesn't mean that they can't. And if you look at their ranking, their offensive rankings for the season, they're just not scoring. Like that's really the main thing. Like they're still pretty good like top of the league in like not very top of the league, but they're still top 5 in like rushing yards and in a bunch of offensive categories. But they're just not scoring in the red zone.
And that's the most important part.
They're shooting themselves in the foot with penalties, and so the opportunities, it's absolutely possible if they can clean up the issues that they've been having. I don't have a lot of confidence that they can clean up the issues, but it's not to say that they can't. It can't happen, but it also has to start with Kyle. If I know a lot of people want to blame the player, like blame players for this, that, and the third, but it's not just if it was just one player, if it was just two players, if it was 4 or 5, I could see wanting to blame the players. But it's all 3 phases of the game on any given week is the problem. And the offense absolutely is not carrying this team. The defense did it. I thought that they did a tremendous job last week of doing the best that they could, especially you lose Bosa. And I know a lot of people dog on Bosa about not getting sacks, but you saw what it looked like when he got once he got out of the game. And he is an integral part of that defensive line. So like that for the defense to do what it did, yes, they let it go at the end of the game. But I thought the defense played pretty well. Secondary, I think, played pretty well. And then special teams for once didn't have a huge backbreaking play in the game. So with all that being said, you would think, all we got to do is have the offense just score a couple. Just score and give me a couple of touchdowns. And they can only do the bare minimum. And it's just they kept shooting them. They had 6 penalties in the first half. For 60-something yards. Like you can't win.
Yeah, those are always killing us, bro.
You can't win football games when you're driving and then you make a play and then it ends up being a 5-yard loss because of a legal procedure. You can't. You're making plays and then it gets called back 10 yards for a hold. You can't sustain drives like that. And for this defense, they've got to get time off the field, which, funny enough, the 49ers lead the league in time of possession. It's I kid you.
Make it make sense. Make it make sense.
Hey,
Yeah, like
come on.
if you look at these stats, they don't make any sense. They
It's
don't make
because
any
they
sense.
can't score
And
in the red zone. That's what, if
Like the
they can
bean
score,
counters-
then it would make a lot of sense.
the bean counters out there have got to be pulling their hair out because there's nothing to point to. All the box score watchers, they're just like, I don't know what's going on. Their head's about to explode because they're like, now I'm gonna actually have to watch the game to see what happened.
Yeah,
Like it's just, it's kind of just frustrating. I feel, but I still think they can win.
yeah. Real quick on Tommy. On Fred Warner defense, I mean the guy has to do everything. I mean he has no help in the middle. Let's give real.
Campbell's ass.
Campbell's
Hey,
ass.
you know
Greenlaw's
what?
not out there. I
He
mean,
had
the
a
guy
decent
can't do so
game,
much.
man.
They
Pete,
did-
I know.
He did have a decent game, and did anybody else notice that they started flipping every time the other team would motion some guy to the other side to take advantage of the matchup? They would flip it. They would flip it like right away, and they should have been doing that a long time ago. I don't know what, but I thought that was a major reason why the defense was playing so well in the first half was they took away that from I think that was a major game plan thing. I think it worked for the most part.
And real quick before I give it to Brandon, can we just stop giving the damn ball to Debo as a running back?
I was just going to say
Jesus
that.
Christ,
Tell me why I
man.
was just going to say that.
Really?
How do you feel about that, Twin?
Oh man, listen here. I've been saying since week 1, when they finally gave Jordan Mason some carries and he showed himself to be a proven running back in this National Football League and said that it would gave him some in the Super Bowl, he probably would have won. It's the same thing. I'd rather Jordan Mason run the ball because every game that Debo runs the ball, you know what he does? He takes a knee like he Colin Kaepernick on the sideline. Because he gets hit like he's hurt. And then he has to sit out 2 or 3 series. And without, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's consistent as that. You know what I mean? And so, with that being said, Debo, I need you to be a wide receiver We have a plethora of running backs that need to
He-
touch this ball.
But that's
Who-
not
and
really
go out there.
Debo though, is it?
Twin, even him being at receiver, man, he's digressed. He's not the same anymore. He cannot get open.
For sure. Like
Well, he's
I
always
don't even
struggled.
disagree with that.
The only
We caught
consistency
hell.
from Debo is getting hurt.
Thank you. And we caught hell 2 years ago when we spoke on this about giving him the money and keeping BA because of we knew he was a product of not having CMC and Jimmy Garoppolo as a quarterback. But we never want to talk about that. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, yeah, get the ball to Jordan Mason. Debo don't need to run the ball unless it's the playoffs and we need to actually do a trickeration.
I mean, look
Isn't
at they had Jordan Mason in one down, and look how much yards he got on that carry.
Two downs.
Like why
He had
did
two
why did
touches,
you not
13
switch
yards.
him and CMC out throughout the whole game?
Because Kyle's
Like-
a wuss and he loves CMC, and if CMC wants to be in there, CMC's the head coach. He says, I want to be in here, and Kyle says, okay.
I don't even think that's what it was. I think it's the same thing that Kyle says in every single press conference. He wants the best player in at all times, and technically,
Mason's not a good
CMC
player?
It's like he's looking. No, I'm not saying that, but that's not what his Madden rating says, and like that's what
Did
Kyle,
you
the
say
way Kyle
Madden?
looks at it. Yeah, that's what his Madden rating. CMC is better, so that's the way Kyle plays with these guys. Is he's like, I'm not taking this guy out because he's a 95 and that guy's
Well,
only
then he
82.
needs to Kyle needs to
So-
stop playing Madden.
But he has a ton of potential. But this guy's got a 95 speed, but he's only at 82. And this guy over here might be a 92, but he's only got 80 speed. And Kyle's like, okay, well, I'm going with the guy that's the overall better player. And that's why we lack speed on the field, is because he gives all these kudos to guys that have earned their spot with him. But Debo, he doesn't hold everybody accountable, and that's the issue. Debo didn't have to do the same things that B8 had to do. He don't have to block. He don't have to run routes. He doesn't have to be on all of his landmarks. But BA and every other wide receiver has to prove that they can do all those things.
What's up,
But
Oak?
not.
How you doing?
Yeah, it's kind of weird. I'll be honest with you, but yeah, that's Shannon.
And real quick question, I want to ask Tone a question, and I want to see if you can answer to the best of your ability, bro. I don't want to be a controversial guy and bring up the controversy, but
Jeez.
would you rather have Sean McVay as your head coach than Kyle? And whatever answer you give, please give us an explanation of your answer.
Who you talking to?
Twin.
Oh,
My bad.
I
Honestly,
said his name first, but my bad.
I didn't hear it.
Yeah, I didn't hear it either. But
Oh, my bad.
you're asking me if I think that Sean McVay over the last 7 years would have had the talent that Kyle Shanahan has had over the last 7 years, I believe he would have won 2 to maybe 3 Super Bowls compared to Kyle Shanahan. And I say that because you have to have ability to drop your what in the
Come
playoffs.
on, preach it, brother.
You have to. And this is the thing that you can't be conservative and you got to have the killer instinct. I don't care what nobody say, man. There's football and you can play the game the right way, but then there's football and you got to willing to like go with the gusto. You see what I'm saying? And when you go against the top of the top elite talent, like just a 53-man roster, we'll beat majority of the teams. If anybody bet money on games, we probably over the last 2 years, if you look at Vegas, have been the team that should have won the game. So just off of talent alone, Vegas already knew we were going to be a really good team. It's when you play against those teams like the upper echelon guys that you got to be willing to pull a trick out of what. You see what I'm saying? And that's what McVay, I believe, he does better than Kyle Shanahan. Or if you look at the game that they play against us, everybody knew that Cooper Kupp was going to get the ball. They literally for the 4 quarters said, no matter what, I'm going to get the ball to Cooper Kupp on consecutive drives over and over again. I'm going to force the referee to make a call, or he gonna go out here and complete the pass. We don't see Kyle Shanahan doing that on a consistent basis where he'll pick on the opponent and say, I'm going to sit here and terrorize you until you do something different.
Yeah.
That's why I like coaches like that would say, you know what, I would throw away my game philosophy and pinpoint your guys and attack them and make sure the job gets done.
Yeah, I'm with you, bro. Go ahead, Pete.
Yeah.
I know you're fired up in there.
Yeah, that's the game
Don't
of
be
football.
stuttering, bro.
I feel like Sean McVay is a football coach. I think that's the biggest difference between him and Shanahan is that Sean McVay just kind of inspires. He doesn't have to have the best players. He doesn't have to have all the bells and whistles. He came from the same tree.
Yep.
As Shanahan, like he uses some of the same concepts, but he's not held hostage by them. He's going to do what he feels he needs to do to win a game, and if that means picking on Ambry Thomas over and over and over and over again, Ambry Thomas going to get hit up 10, 15 times in that game. And because that's what he does. He attacks the weakness. And that's what most coaches want to do is they want to attack the weakness in the defense. And if they find something that you're doing on a regular basis, that's what they do. Kyle's not going to do that. He's never going to do that. He's told you over and over and over again that he's not going to do that because the answer is always in the play. And that's not reality. Teams have figured that out. You have about a 5 or 6 year window at best with an offense to do something until defenses start figuring it out. And I think we're at that point with Kyle.
And one of the things I like about McVay, and this is not a McVay or Ram show, but we're keeping 100% here. McVay he doesn't care what name is in the back of their jersey. If you're playing good football, he's going to play you, whether you're a rookie or you're a vet. He doesn't have, every man has their own pride, but I've seen him coach his players, and I've talked to a lot of Ram fans, the serious ones, not the morons that are out there that we're going to win the Super Bowl every year, but the ones that are more down to earth, that understand football, X's and O's. And we carry pretty good conversations, and I like to talk to different fan bases because I want to get a perspective of their head coach, of their organization, to see what we're dealing with in the West. And a lot of them say that Sean McVay, if he'll go with a hot hand, he doesn't care who it is that is playing out there as long as you're playing good football. And you see a lot of these rookies that are playing good football right now for the Rams. I did not expect the Rams to turn it around this quickly. Are they where they need to be? No. But right now, if the Niners play the Rams, say this Sunday, I don't know if any of you will bet $100 and say the Niners will beat them for sure, 100%, no ifs or buts. I don't know if any of you guys were willing to put $100. I wouldn't. I'll be like, I have to, this can be a close game. Kyle Shanahan, I love his genius of game planning. I love the way he game plans. I love all the misdirections. But as a head coach, I don't like. I like him as an offensive coordinator. Not as a head coach. And Sean McVay, say what you will, the guy knows how to win. He's won a Super Bowl. And I think, like Twin said, if he would have been here with the people that we had, the players, we could have won more than just a Super Bowl that he went in with the Rams, because he didn't really win it with a great personnel over there. I don't know. I'm just frustrated. I'm a big Kyle Shanahan fan. I don't want him fired or nothing like that. I'm not getting crazy, but we have to hold him responsible for the things that he does and doesn't do. Taking his foot off the pedal when he needs to press on it more and gets conservative. I don't like that. It's like, put your foot down, man. Take risk. Take risk. If you lose by taking a risk, we may not be happy about it, but at least we say, you know what? He tried to win the game. Do you think Kyle Shanahan, let's say if they kick the extra point to go into overtime, or they go for 2 to win the game with 2 seconds on the clock, is Kyle the type of coach that would go for the 2 point and try to win the game? or would he go and throw the extra kick and try to see what happens in overtime? Question
Do
for
the
anybody
kick.
who wants to answer.
I think he would. Sometimes he goes for it, but he comes up with some Rudy Poot nonsense play like that doesn't make any kind of sense. And like it'll be like a 2-motion sweep to juice, like it'd be something random and like that makes absolutely no sense in those situations. And he always thinks he's the smartest guy in the room, and that's. So I just think they're like monumental mess ups when he gets in those situations.
Real quick, for my boy Booty Warrior. Okay. I guess he's a Seahawks fan. Listen, enjoy your win. You got the victory, but give me a break. You're not winning the NFC
Bro.
West.
Bro, it's so funny seeing these Seahawks fans troll us right now. It's just hilarious. I just laugh at it. It doesn't bug me whatsoever. It's just funny as fuck.
Nobody gives them a chance to beat us, maybe other than the players themselves, of course. But now they won, and suddenly they're all coming out of the woolwork, and we're winning the whole thing. It's like, listen, you're not getting.
They're 5-5 like us, bro.
No, I know, yeah, but they're not going to get surpassed the Rams or us, or even the Cardinals. Cardinals have a very easy schedule, so cut it out, Seahawks fans. Enjoy the win. You got the victory. You didn't lose. Geno Smith finally was able to beat the Niners in his career, whether it was Seahawks. Enjoy it, but don't get crazy, man.
So, Twin, I have a question for you because I want to see where your mind's at about this. Beto kind of brought it up just right now a little bit about Kyle Shanahan. Where are you with Kyle Shanahan, and what do you think about all this nonsense that these crazy Niner fans are saying to fire Kyle?
I'm in between. It's not. So here's my thing about Kyle. It's like people don't understand there's gray areas when you have a head coach like Kyle Shanahan. There comes a point in time where certain things that he does, if you're not fed up with it as a fan, because you know you need him to kind of evolve a little bit. To me, I think you are selling with mediocrity, because at some point, look at a perfect example of the Seahawks. We lost that game, but they added in a hurry up, aka the NASCAR package, right? I think we've been begging for years now. Hey, Kyle, why won't you implement a little NASCAR package to speed things up so that we can catch somebody off guard when you call in plays? That never happens because we hike the ball with 3 to 2 seconds left on the clock where somebody's in motion, sometimes causing us to do what? Having a penalty or have to take an early timeout in the game because we take too long with our play calls. Another thing, time management. When you know that you can run the ball and run out at least 2.5 minutes off, let's just say 2 minutes, and we decide to pass the ball and have 2 incomplete passes and only run off a minute and some change off a clock, and we don't stop at all, and we got to push our defense right back out there when you have the opportunity to kind of time possession and slow the time down when you need to, that's when you don't do it. And so it's things like that when we do have a Jordan Mason and we sit him out in the playoffs, or we do have a Jordan Mason and a hobbling running back coming back, and we don't split backs. We see a guy like Jahmyr Gibbs and is it Montgomery over there in the Lions?
Yeah, Montgomery.
Those guys stay fresh. They split the back, they split the carries, they give different disguises and things like that. It's like, man, Kyle, me personally, I know y'all built a little different than I am. If I'm a Golden State Warrior fan, for y'all to know, if my Golden State Warriors from 2015 to 2020 didn't win a championship with that team, I'm sorry, guys. I'm ticked off. That's wasted effort. You're not going to tell me we got that type of power and not win one championship? Bro, come on, man. Steve Kerr, you need to be fired. Same thing. Kyle Shanahan. You can't have the top 5 roster for dang near 5 years in a row and come up empty-handed. And so I'm more of like, hey, bro, if you can't get it done by now, listen here. Say la vie, man. Let somebody else take care of your goods and go ahead and cook dinner with it.
Okay, I see what you're saying, Twin, but there's guys like Mike Tomlin, for example, right? He's been coached for how long with the Steelers, right?
Super Bowl winning.
And he's won what, a couple, huh?
He won and won in the
Super Bowl.
beginning, and he ain't tasted it. Since.
Yeah, but there's a reason why the
It's been
Steelers
15
are staying
years.
with him after all this time. And look at now they're 8-2 with their team right
But
now.
they won
right?
one though.
Yeah. No, I get that. But,
Yeah, but they
and
won
then
one 15
we also
years
got
ago.
Andy Reid
And they
too.
he's never
right?
had a losing season, bro. That's
That's also
remarkable.
another thing. He's never had a losing season.
And he's been there
neither
for
did
a
Marvin.
minute.
What was his name?
Who?
Marvin Lewis. Marvin Lewis had a whole bunch of winning seasons. They fired him.
No, but he also
Who,
had losing seasons.
Who else is out there that you're gonna be wanting to?
Oh well, I told people 2 years ago, hey, promote D'Amico Ryans because he had the ability to not be an energy vampire. He was one who exude passion. He exude strength. He was an in-house person. I was like, listen here. But then I looked at crazy, but now he took a team with a first-year quarterback and a first-year draft pick, and they go to the playoffs. And so when people look at me and say, well, who are you going to get? We look at Ronaldo Green. When some people get injured, some people step up and do good things. We can't expect that if nobody never gets an opportunity, we can't think that they can't do better. You see what I'm saying? And so my thing is with these, like with this bag of groceries, if somebody would have had them last year before last, I think another coach should come in there and would have done something with it. Like, that's just me. I've seen coaches like Tony Dungy get fired, and somebody like what's my man's name, Lil Chucky?
The racist? Sorry.
Him. He come in there and win a Super Bowl. So it's not like it haven't been done before. You know what I mean? And when people say,
John
well,
Gruden.
you crazy. John Gruden, we're going to go back to the Tom Sula era. It's like, why do we have to think worst case scenario? Yeah, I know we don't have to think that way, right? You know, there is a other end of the spectrum.
Because
I
think it's because we did do the worst case scenario after the Harbaugh era.
But people don't say that era in context. And let's be real. We had Borland retired. We had Patrick Willis retired. It was like we had a slew of people early retirement, and then some guys went on to another team. It wasn't like Tom Sula and them adopted the same team they had left with
everybody
Jim
was
Harbaugh. Everybody
Right.
like it was a gut. Like it was a like. I mean, the wide receivers were different. The running backs were different. The linebackers were different. I mean, come on, guys. And so,
Everybody figured out Kaepernick.
But hey, let's keep it real. I understand where you're coming at, Twin. You got to take a chance sometimes. As easily as you can get a bad coach, you can get a better coach. But Tim Sula, even with the team of 2019 staff, he wouldn't done shit with this team. Tim Sula is not a good head coach. He was an scapegoat for a year. And then they figured, okay, now what do we do? So they brought Chip Kelly for another year as a scapegoat. And finally, they did things right and got Shanahan. But Shanahan could have been a bad choice as well. So I don't know about firing him mid-season, but definitely in the offseason, you got to come to a point as an owner and say, hey.
He's not going anywhere. I can tell you that right now.
He's not going nowhere.
But that's not his fault. That's because we have a sissy of an owner that is afraid to make another mistake.
And then regardless of who the owner is, dude, I don't think he goes anywhere.
Yeah, no, I don't think he goes anywhere. Like, because not just because they're going to pay him, and not just because, I mean, the reality is he's been to four out of the last 5 Super Bowl, or
I'm
4 out of the last 5 NFC Championship. He wins, and just because he had one bad season, they're not going to just
remember. I'm the guy that doesn't. I love Super Bowls, or you want to win Super Bowls, but people always ask me, would you rather have a Super Bowl and 10 years of a bad team, or 9 years of a good team and no Super Bowl? I'll take the 9 years. That's just me. Maybe because I'm spoiled. I seen all 5 Super Bowls in person. I experienced that, and some of it, like Brandon, hasn't, or maybe younger fan base hasn't. So I understand their side of it as well. But I want teams that are competitive and winning games every season than a Super Bowl. And the more competitive you are during the year, the more chances you have to make it to a Super Bowl and win it. You're not going to win it when you're 1-4, 14.
Sorry, Beto. Let me put it this way real quick. We've gone years of not seeing the Niners even make it to the playoffs, right? Kyle Shanahan comes in,
Look at these guys. They're everywhere.
especially after the Harbaugh era. Shanahan comes in, does his thing. Then we start seeing them go to the playoffs. And, just kind of like what Twin said earlier, I'm a Warriors fan as well. I didn't get to see the Warriors. I basically saw them go from We Believe team to ass to the Steve Kerr era where
There's
they were
always been an
basically
ass.
phenomenal and won four championships, right? And and now they're doing even really well right now. 10-3 right now. And Steve Kerr is still the coach for after how many years?
Don't mess up
So
in
it
the
just
playoffs.
takes time,
don't worry.
bro. Like it's gonna happen. You just gotta give it time. It will happen. Yes, I know we're having players that are getting older, and probably gonna lose half of the players this offseason because of the contract situations and everything. But
I don't think we're going to lose a lot of
if
players,
not
bro.
this
Trust
year,
me.
next year. I mean, I'm not that worried. Like, yeah, we suck ass, but I mean,
see,
I
I
think we'll
don't-
be
If they
okay.
lose
Still.
Debo, it's because they want him to walk, not because they can't afford him.
That's
I don't-
that's
how much
fine
of a
because
dead
Debo has
hit is that?
digressed.
Okay, when are you guys out of time?
But how much of a dead hit is that? Because they restructured him. So like,
Isn't that?
I'm wondering how much of a dead cap hit that is.
The only way I
Didn't
see
they
Debo
restructure him for
going
less
is
money?
if they trade him and they get a high draft pick for him, and then they'll eat some of that money. But other than that, I don't see Debo going anywhere. They have to get something back worth sharing some of that cost. But other than that, I see Debo staying here, finish out his contract with the Niners, and I think
He's got void years all the way going.
a lot
through
of people think
2028,
that because we're signing Brock this offseason that we're going to lose half of the team. People don't realize it doesn't work that the financials. Brock's money is not going to kick into 2 years after he signs. By that time, Trent Williams will be off the books. Maybe Kittle will be off the books. So many players will be off the books they can readjust going forward. So it's not like, oh my God, Brock Purdy gets signed to a $60 million contract. Okay, we're losing everybody. There's going to be players still here that want to be here. Look at what they did. And I love, by the way, I know we've been talking a little bit about crap about Kyle, but let's give credit where credit is due. Kyle and John for taking care of Demo contract. But you got to admit, Demo wanted to be here. He wanted to be a Niner. If he wanted to test the market, the Niners wouldn't have signed him this early. The fact that they approached him, Debo said, okay, I want to be here, and they signed him. Because that contract that they signed him, that's a Niner contract. That's not the person that went out of that contract was the 49ers, not Demo, in my opinion. So they'll work it out. They'll sign Brock. They'll sign players, and we'll see what we can do. But I think what this year was hurt us the most is injuries. Injuries has kicked our butts. Not having Lenore. Greenlaw has been. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but Greenlaw is needed. And I think, I kind of hate the guy that went to the Cowboys. So what's his name that came from Minnesota? Linebacker?
Kendricks.
Yeah.
Kendricks?
If he would have stayed, he would have been better than freaking Campbell.
I don't know if he would have. He stinks too.
Has he?
And like,
Also,
they
guys,
stink.
we gotta calculate in like the vibe of the locker room too. Like you can have players on your team, and I mentioned this earlier, but you also got to have a sense of like a camaraderie, a sense of growth together, and that's what you kind of miss now. Like we once had like this stilo about ourselves, this mojo. And when things like this begins to happen, it's hard to keep a locker room together when you're almost at the top, and you keep losing, because it's other teams who are building on that momentum that you once had. It's the team like Lions or young up and coming teams like Washington and so on and so forth. Like they're building up on that togetherness and that brotherhood. And I don't think we understand like that unknown like thing that you can't equate with PFF or with the names on the jersey, because that matters. Like that camaraderie, that ability to go in there and say, man, I'm willing to ride for these boys and do whatever it is that I need to do to win a football game. That's something that is missing. And Beto, you said earlier, I told people a year and a half ago, I would rather do what they said the Rams did. They said the Rams are gonna be sorry for 5-6 years because they paid for their Super Bowl. I said, how can y'all sit here and say they go be sorry for 5 to 10 years, and not to know that a year later, after having one bad year, their record is same with ours, and they
Yep.
lost a plethora of guys. You see what I'm saying on offense and defense. You see what I mean? And so we act as if somebody can't turn around with different personnels, or when you win one, you still have the winner's mentality because you have something to tell the guys, look, we got a championship here. And that championship mentality is what takes you over the god doggone hump, not the almost got there mentality.
Yeah, I agree. And
That's true.
just real quick about the Debo stuff. So next year, if they got rid of him next year, 31 dead cap hit, 31 million dead cap hit.
Yeah, they're not getting rid of Debo, bro.
And the year after that is 20, almost 21 million. Like 2026. So
I guess he's going to continue to be our running back then.
I thought it was weird when they restructured him to begin with. I think that was a blatant move by Kyle to just take care of one of his guys, and no matter what was happening with everybody else, because they didn't need to do that restructure to get Ayuk signed. They didn't need to do that, and but they did it anyway. So, but now
I would
here we
love
are.
to bring Max Crosby to this team. You know, the Niners almost had him. For those that don't know, the Niners were going to draft. I'm nothing's certain, obviously. I'm not in the GM or the draft room, but for what I've heard and read, the Niners wanted him after they took Bosa, and freaking Raiders jumped in front of us and took him. Max Crosby, to me, is a better player than Bosa. That's just my argument. I love this kid's energy. I love how he gets at the ball. I love both. Don't get me wrong. I have a bunch of his jerseys. I love Bosa, but it's that energy. But the one that I love more is the guy from Detroit. Steelers, T.J. Watt. That guy, you hear his name every single game, whether they lose big or win game. That guy's a menace. Now, to Pete's point, we missed Bosa when Bosa was out of the lineup. True. That's just because our guys in the middle are not that great. They're doing their best of their ability. They're not bad. But that pressure, I don't know where the pressure went. And what a time for Mr. Number 56 to not have a 10-digit season. He's been having 10-digit seasons every year, and then he comes to the Niners, and it's, by the look of it, he's not going to make it to 10. Hopefully I'm wrong.
He was getting good pressure in the last game. Like they had 4 sacks in this last game. They were actually looking pretty. The defensive line was getting pressure for most of the game until Bosa went out.
Bosa was out,
and then
Geno Smith had 2 20+ yards runs.
Well, that was the defensive call. I don't understand.
That run
I don't
hurt.
understand how you're like when they ran the first time. At that point, you've got to play contain. And once he ran the first time, you have to play contain because he hadn't run the whole game. And then when he does it, he's going to look to do it again.
Right.
So you have to play contained in that moment, and they just didn't. And I would say on the one play where he, the first one where he ran, your boy Floyd, he took the widest angle I've ever seen in a game. He literally ran all the way outside of the play and tried to come back in.
Yeah.
And it left him a wide open lane. It was you got to watch that play back. It was hilarious how wide he went to try and get around the tackle.
Hey, real quick, for my little crybabies in the comments that are not happy with the Lakers, hey, go and get how many champions do you guys have? Come near 17 and come and talk to me. Until then, keep dreaming.
Hey, listen here. I'm not a Laker fan, but there's a lot of Niner fans. When Frank Vogel got fired after winning the championship, Just throw that out there. And also, Darvin Ham got fired too for after going to Western Conference Finals. Just throwing it out there. So it's weird seeing some of these people so attached to a coach as if they ain't sit there and see the Lakers toss away a couple guys, in a
It's different
4-year
in the
stint.
it's different in the NBA though.
Yeah, but they
But I'm
hired
saying,
someone
though,
no experience. That's crazy.
And that's
Like
what I'm
coaching.
saying. But even if it's the NBA, it doesn't mean that it don't happen that you can't be successful afterwards. That's what I'm saying. Like, because there's other teams who fired good coaches, even in the National Football League, and end up hiring a good one. Even though people hate Sirianni, the guy who went down there at the Jags, who's looking real bad right now, he got fired. Sirianni got a team that's 8-2, or 6-8 or whatnot, and been to the Super Bowl, right?
Who got fired?
The guy from what's my man's name, guys? Is it Patterson or
Jags,
Peterson?
Oh,
Peterson.
He got fired.
From
dang.
remember with the Eagles?
Oh, when he was with the Eagles. I thought you from the
He
Jags. The
won
Jags are
Super Bowl
stinking
in
it up.
17.
Yeah, I got you. I
think
got
they're
you.
probably going to wait until the end of the season to fire him this year. Like,
Yeah,
but yeah,
they did a turnover, right, guys? They went to the Super Bowl and they're relevant, correct?
Yeah,
yeah.
but so are we.
It doesn't. It wouldn't bother. Honestly, I'm not saying that I want Shanny fired. I don't I can't. I don't think that they can't succeed. I still think they have a ton of talent on this roster, and I agree that it's almost laughable that we can't be dominant with this amount of talent. Even the amount of talent that they have right now, even with the injuries that they have right now, I still think they have enough talent to beat a majority of the teams that we've lost to. And it's just silly to me that that Kyle's kind of ways they're outdated. Like they've become outdated, and it's going to be up to him to turn it around. But I just don't think they're gonna fire him. But
No,
it would have to go real bad. It would have to get embarrassing.
you would have to have like 2 or
And
3 consecutive losing seasons to get to that point.
Yeah, I think if this happened again next season, I could totally see, and because we don't know how the season's going to end, and as bad of a trajectory as the team is going right now, you just don't know. They might end up at a game over 500 or something like that, and then next year they have a pretty decent season, and then we're not talking about Shanny anymore. We're right back to calling him a genius. Well, at least the rest of the fans are. I'm not calling him a genius until he wins the Super Bowl. And yeah, but it is what it is. I tire of the fire Shanny stuff. Just because I don't see the ownership doing that. He's made him too much money.
So Joe Douglas got fired today, huh? Interesting.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, he talked a lot of stuff for him to eventually get fired. But that team is just a dumb. They tried. I don't even fault him. I don't even think that he's necessarily a bad GM. For him, it was just bad luck.
I love my boy Ramos.
That Jets team just sucks.
He hates the Lakers, but he'll back off a little bit because I like the Lakers. That's my boy. Val Ramos, you're awesome, brother. Hey, it's all right, bro. You can hate on my team. You can talk shit. I don't care who talks bad about my team, as long as we can keep it respectful with one another, bro. It's all game. I don't expect people to like my team because they like me. Because I like Twin and I like my boy Brandon, but the Warriors suck. So, in my opinion, at least. But hey, it doesn't, but I love my boys. No, the Warriors don't suck. You know what? With the Warriors, real quick, I know it's football, and I'll keep it back to football. People ask me, why are you a Lakers fan since you're a Niner and Giants fan? I'm like, the Warriors, remember, I'm an old fart. I'm 54. Back when I started to watch basketball, Kareem, Magic, the Warriors were not a good team, so it's not like, I just started to like the freaking Lakers, man, and I fell in love with them in the championships, and then you got Kobe, and you got Shaq, and it just went from there. But I don't dislike the Warriors, bro. I don't root against the Warriors. I like to give Brandon some hard times, but if the Warriors win it all, man, they're a local team. I'm not going to be mad at it. I just never liked the Raiders because of their fan base, so I didn't care about the Raiders being local or not. They sucked, always suck, and will suck. But the Warriors, it doesn't matter. It does, just like the A's. I actually grew up as an A's fan, but I got tired of the owner just flipping players over for other teams and being a farming owner with the A's. Gets good players and then farms them away. So I decided to follow my wife's team, the Giants. But anyway, back to football. Kyle's a great coach. He wins every year. He's having a hard time this year. I'm not ready to fire him. Do I want him to win a championship? Yes. Has he won one? No. But he's gotten the team there 2 Super Bowls, 4 championships in 7 years? Name me another head coach that's gotten that far that has been successful. The Cowboys haven't made it to the damn championship games in the VCR time. At least we went to the Super Bowl. Haven't got a Super Bowl win, but we got a chance to see our team in the Super Bowl. We got to see the media week. We talked about the Niners all week long. Prior to the Super Bowl, shit happens. You don't win at all. Somebody has to lose. But there's teams out there that have not made it to the championship game in years. So I want to continue to be competitive. I believe if you keep on knocking, you're finally going to knock through. But his time is getting shorter because I don't know how many times you can try to win and then you lose. Players are getting older. Like once they lose Trent Williams, we're going to be in a world of trouble. I don't think they're going to pull another. I don't know if they're going to pull another player like they did with what's his name that was there before, Joe Staley. Joe Staley. I love Joe Staley, Hall of Famer in my opinion, but Trent Williams is better left tackle than Joe Staley in my opinion. So they went from good to better. I don't see that if they can pull another rabbit out of a hat like that, unless they have something that we don't see. But that'll be hard to do.
Not the way that they think about the defensive line or the offensive line now. Like I think people get confused because they didn't used to be this way. There was a philosophy change at a certain point because in the beginning they had Joe Staley, who was one of their first picks, Mike McGlinchey. They thought they were going to have bookend tackles. And now he wasn't. They ended up being like great, but he was at least a good run blocker. And then they brought in Weston Richburg because he wanted a center. And then after him, there was Alex Mack. And they cared. They showed that they cared about the offensive line. But at a certain point, all of a sudden, they just stopped caring.
That's because Kyle got into his pride that he can. Kyle wants to be the genius of everything. Kyle wants to be the reason why we win everything. And he don't want to take the blame when we lose everything. I understand he wants. Hold on real quick, Brandon. You got to go?
Yeah, I got to go.
All right. Tell your other boys, thank you for taking you away. Appreciate you. Have a good evening.
All right. I'll see you guys later.
Hold on.
Later.
Let me put you on there, twin. Boop. There you are. You're Brandon now. What's up, Brandon? Look at you. You were spending a little bit in the sun, my friend. I love my brother.
A lot of sunbathing out here.
Hey, real quick, Brandon. Twin, I know you're not feeling all hot about your team right now, but how is your brother feeling at this point? At least we have hope, bro. What does he have?
He like, listen here. Both of our teams was relevant, right? I was like, yeah. Both of our coaches was winning, right? Yeah. Both of our teams underperformed, correct? Yeah. Both of our teams are looking quite mid right now, are we? Yep. He said, guess what? My team still won Super Bowl last compared to yours, and then we just keep on talking about each other back and forth.
Oh, wow.
I can't even say that. He like, look at you.
But, hey, bro, hey, we've been to Super Bowl, in other than the VCR time. They haven't even been to a championship, bro. But before we go any further, please explain to the audience that don't know who your brother is and what team we're talking about. Because they're hearing, but they're like, who is his brother?
Man, well, shout out, man. My brother, Law Nation. You could check him out on YouTube, Law Nation Sports, man. He's one of the top, I guess you would say, cowboy creators.
He has a small following, but it's okay.
Yeah, I got a small following. Yeah, but also, I just like, he's one of the pioneers, though, if we want. Like,
yes, he is.
When this wave of content creators started, like, picking up on YouTube, I think my brother got content from 2015, 16 out here. and he just kind of rose the ranks. And so, man, shout out, if y'all don't follow him, check out Law Nation on any platform. He's there, man. He gonna give you really good content. He's cool, calm, gives everybody opportunity. Whether you're a 49er fan, Eagle fan, whatever, man, he shows love to everybody, man. So go check him out. Yeah.
You know, like I said, I like to watch all types of content creators that kind of are not the ones that are always, my team's good even if they're not. I like the ones that sit there and can keep their team. You know, they can talk bad about their team when they're not doing good, and to talk good, and they break down ball. One thing I was following your brother already, Twin, before I met you, because I loved, and I think I shared that with you, I love the way that he breaks down ball. And I mean, the guy has over 100K followers, man, 100,000K followers. He's doing something right. He keeps up. I love it. He got me saying it for a while. I broke out of it. My wife's going to kick my butt if I keep saying it, but he goes, yeah. And I started doing that for a while. And I'm like, what am I doing? I go, I'm watching this a little bit too much of your brother if I'm starting to pick up on that. But I'm like, yeah. And I'm like, okay. I need a break from the Cowboys conversation. But hey, give him some love, man. If you guys wanted some good content, go follow his brother, Law. It's Cowboys. Hey, talking about the Cowboys real quick, I want to get your guys' opinion. Do you think they get rid of Mike McCarthy and they get Dion and his Dion's son?
Ooh.
Nope. Why should they? They consistently win. They win 12 games a year. Irrelevant. I mean, just give him some more time. That's what that's the philosophy. He only been there since 2020.
No, I want him there because as long as he's there,
I
they're
want
losing.
him there.
Yeah, I want him there because they're losing every time he's there. So keep him there.
Keep him on as long. I want him to be a lifetime contract. Like, just stay there. Like Dak too. Like, keep him there all day.
And keep Jerry Jones alive.
Yeah.
As long as Jerry Jones is alive, bro, we have hope.
Keep him in that hyperbaric chamber.
Yeah. Keep sending him to the nudie bar for the bunch of dollar bills. But anyway, enough of the Cowboys. So we're going into the Packers game. I want to get your thoughts. Pete, I'm going to get your thoughts in depth, but I want to ask Twin as our guest, what do you want to see? No, let me rephrase it. What do you need to see the Niners do to guarantee we can go into Lambeau and come out with a win on both sides of the ball?
I think it's going to start before the game. There once upon a time was the Niners was known for physicality and their mentality.
Okay.
And their will to not be stopped. And so I wanted to see us be able to not only run the ball with success, but with power, with conviction. And I want to see some life. And this is one thing I miss sometimes when out of a head coach or somebody on the sidelines, like we need some energy. We need somebody to give us some juice. You're not seeing that because definitely one of the guys is on Greenlaw. So when he's not there, you miss that juice as well. And so I'm looking for us to go out there. We play with physicality, with discipline, and with the will to say that we're not going to be stopped. And I want to see us go out there and play like this is the last game of the season. And with that being said, if they play like that, it'll make me have a little glimmer of just like, okay, then can we build on this, you know what I mean, and start stacking some games because we haven't stacked the game all year. Not like all year we haven't.
Yeah, Pete, go ahead. What you need to see? You want to add to what Twin already said? What do you expect and want to see to reassure you that we can go in there and come up with a dub?
I mean, they just got to score. They got to score in the red zone. That's really it. Like, I mean, there is no special sauce that I think can save these guys. Like this is not those teams of that Twin was talking about. This is not those teams anymore. We're not bullies. This is a finesse team now. We are not a physical football team. We haven't been a physical football team for going on 2 years now. And it is what it is. Like teams are not losing games after they play us because they're bruised and battered. That's not going to happen anymore. Teams are doing that to us now. And so I just need them to score points. If they can give a score in the red zone at least over 60% of the times that they're in the red zone, then I think that they win the game.
Yeah, I agree.
But if they don't, they're going to lose. Because the defense is we don't know if Bosa's playing. We know Greenlaw is not going to play. Shavarius Ward came back with the team. I heard today.
Yeah, he's back.
And so, but you don't know what I mean. And
you don't know what state of mind he's going to be in when he plays the game.
Yeah, shout out to him. Nobody deserves that.
And I wouldn't blame him if he didn't have a good game.
I don't even
either.
like talking about him playing the football right now. I don't know how he's even thinking about playing football.
Sometimes you need to be busy, though. You need to stay busy in order for not to be thinking so much about something like that.
But it's so you're missing those guys, and we can say what we want to that Love is having a down season. There's nothing like playing the 49ers to get you back on track this season. It's what it is. And we are everybody's get right game right now. So they just got to score points. If they can get out there, score some points, and and not field goals, and get the vibe hey, we can get it rolling. That fixes everything. I feel like.
Yeah, I agree. And real quick, my birds have been really actually behaving very well. You guys can still hear them. They're right behind me, 2 parrots. So I'm surprised they're not loud. Normally I have them loud. I have them loose in the room, but they like to bite my Nitto monitor off my ear. So I appreciate them not being so loud. But for me, guys, the Niners just need to not hurt themselves with penalties. You got to go in there in a hostile environment and don't hurt your team. When we pick up a 3rd and 8 for a first down at a crucial moment, and it gets called back because of a dumb penalty offsides. We got to play discipline, and to me personally, our special teams need to come up big. I know last year when we played them in the playoffs, was the last year or the year before, where both special teams were bad, and our special teams stepped up a little bit, and when they blocked that punt or field goal, whatever it was, and we were able to win the game. And if I'm not mistaken, I think Hufanga scored. But I just want to make special teams to play good, have a decent game plan, don't give up big runs on punt returns, and don't hurt yourself. Just don't hurt yourself. And the big obvious is score. You got to score, especially if the Niners can't stop them from scoring. You got to at least compete with them on the scoreboard. And it's when you can't trade their 7 points to us 3 points and expect to win. You got to compete with them. Am I confident? No, I'm not. I got to see what I want to see in this game, and maybe I'll be more confident in the Bills game. But I am not confident going into Green Bay based on what I saw against Seattle. Green Bay is a way better team than Seattle. The young kid, even though he's young, to me, he's better than Geno Smith. Love is better than Geno Smith. And their defense is not a joke. Green Bay's defense is little by little. They're playing under the radar, but they're good defense. So
they play a lot of man, too.
Yes, a lot of man. So Brock Purdy has to have a great game. Before we get out of here, because we hit the hour mark, and I just want to say first and foremost, thank you for earlier Brandon being with us. He had a prior commitment that he had to go to. I appreciate him, like always. Twin being our guest today, I appreciate it being with us today. And my boy Pete, man, I don't know what I'll do, what type of show I would have without you, brother. Thank you for being an anchor all the time. But I want to find a score. If you guys do that, Twin, I'll go with you. What's your score against Green Bay? If you do predictions, if you don't, that's cool.
I heard if the weather is inclement, it'd probably be like 17-21, something like that. You know what I mean? And I'll say this too before you switch over to Pete. My issue with Kyle is that I think he is not above criticism.
No, he's not.
And my thing is when people say you criticize Kyle, you're a hater. And it's like, bro, and not you better. Like, I appreciate how we talk about sports. But there's people who automatically goes to you think like
Yeah,
he's
no, I
trash.
hear
And like,
you.
no, bro. I'm like, man, listen here, guys. When we love a team, you passionate about a team, it's okay to critique, man, because you know that there's things that he can do better and evolve as a head coach. And especially there's things that our players can do to be better too as well. So if our players go out there play to the top of their potential and alongside with Kyle Shanahan being in his bag, I still believe that we have just as much talent as they do as well, as far as the Green Bay Packers. And so hopefully we go out there. I always hate the cheeseheads no matter what. I'm going to be honest. I hate Green Bay. So let's go 49ers. Green Bay stopped us from winning a couple Super Bowls in the 90s, but that's neither here or there.
Before I give it to you, Pete, for your prediction, I'm with you, bro. Just because you criticize a certain player doesn't mean you hate the player. You're not a Niner fan. I think personally, when you do predict players and your team, to me, you're more of a Niner fan. You're more passionate about your Niners, and because you love winning. Everybody loves to win. And when players deserve the credit, you give them credit. You give them their flowers. But when they don't, you should be able to criticize them in the same token as you give them flowers when they do well. The fact that you criticize somebody and you're not a real Niner fan, or you hate the Niners, or you hate this. Now, where I draw the line is I'll criticize Kyle. Where I draw the line is we're going to fire him. We need to fire him without giving me at least an idea who you're going to replace him with. Give me some names. Let me see some film. Give me some, try to convince me in a sense where sell me on, okay, we're going to get rid of Kyle, but this is why I think we should get rid of Kyle because of A, B, and C. Then I'll hear you out. But if you're like, let's just fire Kyle, who do you replace him with? I don't know. But I don't know. I can't deal with that. Tell me who you're going to replace him with. Give me some candidates. And then I'm not afraid to move on from Kyle, but I want to get some kid. Like, for example, the guy from the Steelers. I keep forgetting his name. Help me out, guys. If he was fired from the Steelers, which will never be, Mike Tomlin, I would take him in a heartbeat. I would take him in a heartbeat over Kyle. I'll personally go pick up Kyle's baggage and send him to the airport. Because I love Mike. This guy's a winning coach. But you gotta tell me that. But real quick, Brandon, give me a prediction with your on this game. And real quick, Twin, I love the way he did it.
Brandon left.
He gave Twin gave us a prediction, but he didn't say which team though. I like the way he did that. He's a little slick. He just gave us a score, but he didn't say what team. He let us assume he's talking about the Niners, but we'll see. Good, Brandon. I'm just kidding. Twin.
Brandon. I keep telling you, Brandon left.
Who's saying Brandon? Me?
You keep saying Brandon.
I called you Brandon?
Yeah, like twice.
I'm tired, bro.
But it's okay. It's all right.
I'm tired. You don't look nothing like Brandon, bro. You're at least 40 pounds smaller than him, so I'm sorry.
Oh, see, I'm not even trying.
Hey, I'm a fat guy. I can say
that. But I look at it like this. I think that the 49ers can win this game. I'm gonna because I don't want to pick the exact same score. I'm gonna go 24-13 Niners, and the reason being is I think because they don't even want to say that BOYZ is not going to play. I don't think he's going to play, but I think them just being able to. I have a feeling the defense is going to be okay. Jordan Love has struggled a lot this year, especially with giving the ball up. I think this might be a game. I'm just hoping that it's a game that Kyle turns it around, because I know that the talent is there. And at any given moment, they could pop off, and so I'm gonna be positive in the situation. But I want to talk. I want to bring up what we were talking about as far as Kyle. I don't want him fired. I've said it 20 million times. I want Kyle to get better, and that's my thing is I want Kyle to be better. And I love that we can be honest about what on this show, and I definitely do it on my show. Is I don't care about the views, and I don't care about the subscribers. Not that I don't care about all the people in the
he just said you don't like you guys.
I love y'all. At the same time, I don't do my show for that. I do it to get our views out there. And so if that means I stay at 400, at a little over 400 subscribers for the rest of my time on YouTube, I'm gonna keep keeping it real, and I'm gonna say how I believe about this team. I'm not pandering for views from anybody. And so with that being said, Kyle needs to fix it. Period. I don't want him fired. I want him to get better. And
Easier said than done, though.
He's just got to get over his mental block that he has. But I'll tell you, I don't know that he can get over it. I don't think that he's going to be able to get over the hump, just because every single time he gets in pressure situations, you can see it on his face. You can see it on his face on the sideline. He's unsure. Everything that he does, he's unsure, and he makes ridiculous decisions in weird moments. And I don't know, because I think that he's always going to think he's the smartest guy in the room, and that he has to do all the bells and whistles on every given. When they need 3rd and 1, we can't just run the ball right at the gut and get 1 yard. We can't do that. We've got to have 2 motions, and 2 motions and a twist to Debo going a half route the other way, just to give it to Juice. And that, I think that's part of the reason why we are what we are today. We at certain time we transitioned to a finesse team, and we don't have the players to be a finesse team. We don't have the players. We're half and half right now. This team is half and half. They've slowly transitioned these players.
You mean we don't have the players to be a bully team?
No, we don't have the players to be either. I think that it's a mix right now, because they're in the middle of this transition period where they still have Debo and Kittle and all these guys that they used to be as bullies, but they want to be a finesse team. So they bring in Pearsall and Cowing and all these other people, and the offensive line. They went from actually caring about it to now bringing in serviceable guys. And even on defense, they're trusting in Chris Kasurik to make these guys stars, and they're undrafted free agents. At a certain point, you have to go all in on one thing. Either you're going to be the bully or you're going to be the finesse team. I think right now they're in a transition period, and I think that's the real reason why this team is really kind of struggling, is because they've got one toe in and one toe out in everything that they do.
When you talk about bullies, you want to talk about Coach Harbaugh. That guy knew how to be a bully because he emphasized on the line. He got hired as a Chargers head coach. What's the first thing he drafted? Offensive lineman. Build that line. You know what? I love Kyle, but I want to see a beefier line. I want to see a line that can protect Brock Purdy, and I don't want it to be protection based on scheme. I want it to be protection based on big boys. They can hold the defenders and allow Brock Purdy to go through his reads and make the play that he feels that is best for him if it ain't the first read. I'm going to give you the last word as our guest, Twin, and then I'll have Pete let us know where they can find them, as well as you. You have your channel, I forgot. As you give your last word, also let everybody know where they can find you, my friend. Yes, I smoke on crack, so I'm talking a lot. Sorry.
Nah, you Gucci. I believe again, I think we should have been transitioning them 3rd round draft picks on the running back should have been offensive tackles. I think they might still been on the team. I also believe we should have been starting to be more of a spread offense. Jerry Rice came on the radio station, said it best. We don't spread nobody out. We don't give it no 5 wides. We don't give since everybody know that the middle field will be condensed. These guys are becoming a little more familiar with our offense when it comes to stopping the plays in the middle of the field. And so I will hope that Kyle Shanahan go ahead and make a decision. If you want to spread it out, you see Brock as your quarterback, I think it's time for you to just start, hey, let's open this playbook up. Let's get Cowing. Let's get Pearsall, Juwan Jennings, however many guys you can on the field. Get your most talented guys, CMC, Mason. Let's get all them guys on the field at the same time, man. Spread these guys out and try to use every blade of grass to confuse the defense and spread them out. And so, with that being said, follow me on YouTube, Twin Empire _ hit your boy up, man. And I appreciate y'all for having me on. I was late far as getting on. Been definitely a different year this year for me. But thank you guys for having me. I appreciate seeing you guys as always. You feel me?
I love it. I love it.
Appreciate you, bro.
Where can we find you at again, Pete? Let everybody know.
Yeah, so Niner Fanatic Podcast. I'm on YouTube. I'm on Twitter. I am on Facebook. I'm on Twitch. I am anywhere where you can get your audio podcast. I don't care where you get it, just get it. And yeah, really, like, just tell a friend to tell a friend so we can be friends. Oh, I'm not. I told myself I'm not gonna say that anymore because no Diddy. And like, but yeah. But yeah, it's just come on through. We gonna hate on the Niners together, and we're gonna complain, and we are gonna be negative, and you're just gonna get all your frustrations out. I'm gonna lean into it. All these people that say that I'm negative and like all of this stuff, you're damn right. Like, that's what I do. So it is what it is.
I love it. I love it. Once again, Twin, thank you for being with us. You're always welcome to come and join us anytime you want, brother. Doors are always open to you. Appreciate you. Everyone for watching. Thank you guys for tuning in. I say this every time. I never gets old. You guys are the true MVP of the show. You guys are the come and take your time of your important day after a hard days of work to watch a couple of guys talk about our team. And you spent the time with us in the comments. I just want to say thank you to each and every one of you. Thank you for my panel for showing up today. You guys have a wonderful rest of the week. Enjoy the week. Be blessed. Always remember, be kind to one another. And God is always number one. And tune in next Tuesday, God willing, at 6:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time for another episode of the Niners BOYZ podcast. We're out of here. Peace.